and welcome back to my channel. I am the Mass Trans and you are watching me, baby. Now before we get today's video started, I just want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a diabolical middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. Alright you guys, so happy Sunday. It is Sunday and I'm being lazy. I don't feel like doing a damn thing. I was going to go out and do some Instacarting, but I was asking myself, well, you know you really don't have to do this if you don't want to. You know you have a job. So you don't have to do this Instacart thing. So I talked myself out of Instacarting. And instead I wanted to come and hang out and talk to you guys a little bit more about this whole Wii Spa incident thing. I made a video last night, but I didn't get to unpack it the way I wanted to unpack it just because I was in a rush. So I'm back to tell you how I really feel about what's happening here with this Wii Spa incident thing, right? So first of all, let me tell you. I mentioned this in my previous video, and some of this might seem redundant just because I did cover it in my initial video, but I'm going to go over it all again because it's my channel and I get to do what I goddamn feel like I want to do. Oh, I thought you said something. I thought you said something. I thought you said something, sis. Anyway, you guys, so even though I began talking about this Wii Spa incident a whole lot back a month or two ago, right? I haven't been talking about it as of late because I felt like I had talked about it so much there wasn't a whole lot left to say. You know, it happened. There were press conferences held by the Cubana Angel lady, but still there was no culprit. So I'm just like, okay, clearly there's no one. Obviously this didn't happen. So let's just go on about our lives and, you know, let's wait for the next thing, you know, to happen. Well, lo and behold, because I've been busy living life and not really checking in on YouTube on a regular basis, I go into my messages and I see, or not even my messages, my comments, and I see all these comments. Oh, I bet you feel dumb now, or, you know, I bet you're eating crow now, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, what are these people talking about? What are they talking about? And I noticed that all the comments that I was seeing were comments associated to Wii Spa videos. So I'm like, oh, something must have happened here. So I go to Google, type in Wii Spa, and then I see that article from the New York Post where they're talking about Darren Merager. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the person's name right, but there we have it. So we finally have a culprit. We finally have a name. And so people keep asking me if I feel dumb or stupid or, and I don't. Let me tell you why I don't feel. Because I had questions, right? If you watch any of my videos, if you've seen any of my videos, I could not say definitively whether or not Cubana Angel was lying or not. Because I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. There were parts of the puzzle that did not make sense to me. And so I had questions. And a lot of my questions were predicated on the propaganda from, not just the propaganda, just from her overall disposition, right, in the lobby. You know, where she says to one guy, you know, you probably don't even like women, right? Oh, homophobic red flag. For me. For me. Oh, you probably don't even like women. Like, you don't even know this man, right? And so here you go attacking his sexuality without even having a leg to stand on. So that was a red flag for me. Then the fact that I never saw the person. I'm still trying to figure out how Darren got in and out with evading any altercation. I'm still trying to figure that out. Someone please clear that up for me because it doesn't make sense that Darren was able to get in the locker room, you know, swing his thing, their thing. I'm going to try to refer to Darren, excuse me, as a them, they, and a there because I'm not sure how they identify. So, I'm still puzzled about how Darren was able to get in and get out. Make it make sense, right? And that's not to say that Darren didn't get in and get out. I just want to know how it happened. So, now that we know that Darren is the culprit, and now that we have this history of predatory behavior from Darren, it makes sense, right? It makes sense that Darren was the person who was in this spa, flashing himself to women and children as alleged, and Cubana Angel's meltdown makes complete and teetotal sense, right? And even though I didn't like this woman, right, because of all the propaganda that I saw on her her Instagram page, you know, all of this dogmatic propaganda, if you will, when the way she melted down in that lobby made me say either A, the sis is a great actress, or what she said happened. And when the person didn't show up, I'll be honest with you guys, I was leaning more towards it didn't happen, right? But I didn't tilt all the way over. You know, there was a slant. You know, my line meter was slowly ticking to this is a lie as opposed to this is the truth. But again, because I wasn't there, I couldn't say with 100% conviction that sis was lying. Couldn't say that. But what upsets me is that a lot of people here on YouTube like to cherry pick what they hear. Because if you listen to my videos, I've never accused a woman of lying. I said something in the milk wasn't clean and something did not make sense to me. And I laid out the facts as opposed in terms of why it did not make sense. And then I got all of these comments once again about, oh, just say you hate women. Because I have questions. I hate women. I hate women so much that I became one. Girl, go bump your head a few more times, because clearly there is head trauma if you listen to my videos and somehow come to the conclusion that I hate women. First of all, I love people. I'm a lover of people. Women, kids, men, trans people, LGBTQIAP plus people. I'm a lover of people. I'm a lover of good people. Okay, and if I have questions about something that is being alleged, it does not make me hateful. It means that I have questions. I'm an intellectual. Okay, and as an intellectual, you should ask questions. Only lambs being led to slaughter believe what they are told and not necessarily what they know or what they've seen. So you continue being a lamb if you choose to be, but don't come for me because I got questions, because I'm going to continue having questions. They be pissing me off with that dumb ish coming over here. I'll just say you hate women. No, bitch, I hate you. I hate you because you're dumb. And you coming over here on my channel with this nonsense. Girl, here's a boat, there's a paddle, skedaddle. Okay, I ain't got no time for it. I can't stand when they come over here with that nonsense because I have questions about a situation that suddenly I harbor a disdain for cisgender women. It's dumb. And you're dumb if you buy into it. Okay, woosah. Woosah. Let me calm my nerves. They made my blood pressure high. So I had a lot of questions because Cubana Angel just came across to me problematic. Problematic as it related to LGBTQIAP plus persons. So again, I had just resigned myself to thinking that nothing more was going to come of this story. So when I saw this update that we had a person, believe it or not, I was excited by that, right? Because A, it meant that this wasn't, let me tell you something real quick. Let me just take a break. Let me deviate for a moment. When you grow up being different, right? Whether it's lesbian, what did I say lesbian? Whether it's lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, gender non-conforming, even if you have a physical anomaly of some sort, and you go out into a society where people judge you not just with their words, but by their looks and the way that they treat you, you realize that there is a lot of evil in this world, a lot of hate in this world, a lot of vitriol in this world. And it can shake your faith in humanity. It can shake your trust in humanity. You will have questions. You will have questions. Because you know that not everyone is on your side, and not everyone is your friend, and not everyone has your best interest at heart. And so, me asking questions based on the fact that she questions the man's sexual orientation, she referred to the person in the locker room as it. She said in the lobby that transgender people don't exist. These are her words. These are her words, because I need you guys to really understand where my questions came from, right? It's nothing to do with me not wanting to protect, quote unquote, cisgender women and children. Why would I want to see a child or any person hurt or harmed? That is just complete lunacy. So my questions were based on the fact that you called the person an it, transgender people don't exist, it's not a real thing, questioning this man's sexuality, the press conferences, the dogmatic propaganda on the Instagram pages, the fact that the person was missing, the fact that they couldn't locate the person. All of these things came together for me in one big old gigantic question mark, and I needed answers. And even while I had that question mark, again, I still didn't say with 100% conviction that this lady was lying, because I did not know. So all of these people commenting on my videos saying, are you ready to eat crow? No, bitch, you eat crow. You eat crow. Because I ain't never accused sis of telling an outright lie. I said something in the milk wasn't clean, and I had questions. And again, I feel right to have those questions. But let's move on. So now, this has been substantiated, right? Now we have a face to attach this incident to. And that face, it belongs to Darren Merager. So now a whole new set of questions have to be asked. A whole new set of questions have to be addressed. Now, first of all, we need to identify, how does Darren identify? Is Darren identifying as trans? Is Darren Merager essentially a heterosexual cisgendered man masquerading as a trans person in order to gain access into female spaces? If in fact that is the case, then we need to be ready. The trans community at large needs to be ready to have these conversations about the concerns of cisgendered women and allowing trans women into those spaces. Because for the longest, we have been able to say, well, that's fear-mongering. And now this is still an isolated case, right? But whether it's isolated or not, the fact remains that if the circumstances prove that this is exactly what happened, then we need to have that conversation. Because if there's one, there could be more. If there's one known case, there could be, hundreds of other unknown cases. We don't know, right? And as a trans woman, I'm not going to sit here and try to make excuses, to make what happened okay, or I don't want to say it, or even to disassociate that action or that occurrence from the trans community, right? Because here's the reality. People are fallible. Hetero men, hetero women, cisgendered, transgendered, gay. People are fallible. And deviants come in every shape, color, and form. And for the longest time, we as trans people have been, I just had a light bulb go off about something else I want to talk to you guys about. So this video might be all over the place, but I just got a lot to say, y'all. Because, now this might get me in trouble with the trans community, but we're going to talk today. I'm just going to put it all out there on the table and tell y'all how I really feel. Okay? Y'all ready for this? So let's talk about being trans for just one moment. Now, I'm not a doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, what have you. I can't necessarily diagnose someone with gender dysphoria. But I can tell you this. In my experience, I personally believe, me, her, she, I personally believe that you have transsexuals or transgendered persons and you have elective transgendered persons. Now, let me tell you the difference. For me, someone who is truly trans would never have done what happened at the Wii Spa. Never, ever done what happened at the Wii Spa. Because, and when I'm talking about trans, I'm talking about male to female transgendered persons. Would have never done what happened at the Wii Spa. Not in my personal opinion. Again, can I say that with 100% conviction? I cannot. Okay, so let's talk about the difference, right? So I consider myself to be a trans person. Now, if you are trans and you are pre-op, meaning that you have not had the bottom surgery, most trans persons who are male to female transgender people would never want you to see that part of themselves, because that is a part of themselves that they are most uncomfortable with. So to have a person doing what was being alleged that Darren did goes completely against the fabric of what makes a person trans, right? But I also believe that you have elected trans people, right? And you'll see these elected trans people because these are the people who you see who will get into, like, there's a gay guy, right, on Halloween who is flamboyant and effeminate, and he is just a flamboyant gay man who happens to get dressed and looks great on Halloween, and people are like, oh my God, girl, you look great. Oh my God, girl, you look fab. Oh my God, girl, you're turning the party. Oh my God, girl, you killed the function. And because they're getting all these compliments, they begin to, and they've never heard this type of compliments before, right? Everyone has been beating them down for being too gay, for being a sissy, for being too queer. And now that they're in drag, people are living for them. People are going, the club is going up, right? Everyone is going up for this person. And so because they have that amount of attention that they've never had before, that amount of validation that they've never had before, it just feels good, right? And even though Halloween has long since passed, sis can't put the heels up, can't put the hair up, can't put the makeup up, because she lives in that validation that she got from Halloween, and she needs that to happen on the continuum moving forward, right? And as a result of that, it goes from being a celebratory holiday thing into being a lifestyle. So now sis, who, because she was so feminine and flamboyant and a twink and, you know, needing to butch up and all the things that people say, because you don't just catch it from the straight community, you catch it from within the LGBTQIAP plus community as well, if you're an effeminate male. Okay, let's be clear. And because you've been hearing all of these negative comments, and now because you're quote unquote just this beautiful being, and you know the boys are coming after you, you're getting attention from boys that you never had attention from before, access to men that you never thought you would have the opportunity to talk to before, you decide, oh, wait a minute, this isn't a holiday thing, this is who I am. You know, I am Samantha. I don't know why I just chose Samantha, but you say to yourself, you know what, I am Samantha. Samantha is me, I'm going to be Samantha forever. And so you start going on being Samantha forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, right? And then at some point, the party stops. And reality sets in, right? And now you got to figure out how you're going to eat, how you're going to pay rent. And a lot of jobs aren't hiring you as Samantha because they don't want you serving the public. They don't want you being seen. They don't want you being the face of their company, because that might be cute at the club, but in the real world, we're not here for it. So we need Sam to show up, and you need to put Samantha on the shelf, excuse me. And so here you go back and forth, you know, with this sort of internal battle. You know, you love the attention that you're getting, but you hungry. Bills need to be paid. Cell phone about to get turned off. You know, it's a real world thing. And then you start to say, or, you know, people in your family aren't accepting Samantha. And you say to yourself, well, maybe Sam wasn't that bad. You know, maybe it wasn't that bad. And all of a sudden, you know, you start to detransition. You're going back, right? You start buying boy clothes and going back to being Sam. Because what you came to realize was that Samantha was a character. It wasn't who you innately are. That's not who you truly are. Because let me tell you something. When you are trans, I'm talking trans. When you are trans, I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care who doesn't agree with it. I don't care what people say, how society feels. All of that matters not. What matters most when you are truly trans is how you feel. I don't care if I can't get a job. I'll figure it the fuck out. I will figure it the fuck out. But I'm not going back to Sam. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's not me. That's not who I am. I'm Samantha all day. Every day, morning, noon, and night. I'm Samantha when I eat. I'm Samantha when I sleep. I'm Samantha when I shop. I'm Samantha when I make love. I'm Samantha when I cry. I'm Samantha when I argue. I am Samantha. Okay? That's when you know you're truly trans, because whatever the struggles are, you don't give a damn about them. You don't care about them. You will figure it out. You will be, in the words of 50 Cent, you will be trans or die trying. That's just what it is. And so I say all that to say this. You have people who may take on the trans form, but they're not really trans. They definitely see benefits to it. And understand that being trans might give you access to certain spaces, i.e. women's spaces that you didn't have access to before. I can't fathom anyone doing that. I'll be completely honest with you. I cannot fathom anyone doing that. But I don't have the brain of a deviant. I don't have the brain of a deviant. I have the brain of a trans woman. The brain of a trans woman. So now that we have a person out here like Darren Merager, who may have done exactly what is being alleged, we as a trans community have to be prepared to have that conversation and ask ourselves, what does inclusivity look like that allows trans women to be trans and allows cisgendered women to be safe? What does it look like? Do we create a third space, a gender neutral space, where trans people, non-trans people, people who just feel like, look, a body is a body. You can go in there, we don't care. Do we allow spaces to be solely dedicated to cisgendered women or to post-operative trans women? Are post-operative trans women allowed in those spaces? It is a very complicated and nuanced conversation that I think at this point in time definitely needs to be had in a way that is conducive to understanding, acceptance, inclusivity, and just trying to move forward in a healthy way. I'm glad they called Darren up. I really am. I'm glad because, A, it's opened my eyes to a lot of things, right? It's forced me to take a hard look at some of the beliefs and values that I held to be true. And say to myself, maybe I have to think about this from a different angle. But this is the thing, right? I wish more people had that level of introspection where they were able to say to themselves, maybe I need to look at things from a different angle. But people won't. They won't. People don't even believe that trans people have a right to their existence, so to speak. So it's hard for them to believe that trans people have a right to pee. It's just the world we live in. And I want to say this, I'm almost, 25 minutes into this video, and I don't want to take up your entire Sunday. But I do want to say this to all of the people out there who are putting all of this time, energy, effort, attention into what happened at the Wii Spa. I'm not telling you not to do that, but I'm telling you, while you're focused on what's happening at the Wii Spa, the real threat to women and children, cisgender women and children, is happening down in Texas. I'll say it again. The real threat, the true threat, the imminent threat that is happening to children and women, young girls and women, is happening down in Texas. Women's rights are under assault right now. And if you don't open your eyes, if you are distracted by things, I'm not going to say things like what happened at the Wii Spa, because again, I definitely think that this warrants attention. But I also think that there are other things out there that deserve a greater amount of your attention. And that is Texas. And all of these other states that are trying to take away women's reproductive rights and a woman's right to have agency over her own body. Because see, know this, right? I am a trans woman. And in terms of carrying a child, that's not an experience that I will ever have, right? But in spite of that, I show up to fight for cisgender women, right? I show up to fight for the reproductive rights of women. I show up to fight for women's rights because women's rights are my rights as well. Whether or not I can necessarily apply them to my own personal existence, if it affects women, it affects me. And therefore, I'm standing up and I'm fighting for it. So I'm saying to y'all, all y'all watching this video, all the time and effort that you're putting into this Wii Spa, we need some of that down in Texas too. Send some of that to Texas. Pay attention to what's going on around you. If you are truly concerned about protecting women and girls, if you are truly concerned about the future of women and girls, pay attention, speak up, speak out, advocate, call your senators, do whatever you possibly can to protect the rights of women and girls because they are definitely under assault. I think that's about it. I think I've said all I need to say. I do apologize for the length of this video, but sometimes you just have to get some things off of your spirit, honey. And this was just one of those things. All right, you guys. Please do me a huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, in closing, ask yourself this one poignant question. Why be bitter when you can be better? So let's be better together. Mwah. I'm the Master Trans, and I'll talk to you guys again later. Bye.